video, you will be learning the process of properly transcribing audio files for any qualitative portion of a study. Qualitative research often includes some form of transcription. Unfortunately, it is not uncommon for a transcription to be presented as a behind-the-scenes aspect of data management rather than as an object of study in its own right. As Agar writes, transcription is a chore. While certainly there are more stimulating aspects of research, without question transcription is a pivotal aspect of our research processes in the HDCI lab. Transcribing that interview can also be difficult and requires precise listening skills, patience, and careful editing. An hour-long interview can easily take 4 to 6 hours to transcribe, depending on how fast you type. Make sure you allow enough time to transcribe interviews accurately and maintain the tone and integrity of the original audio. The first step is to identify which audio interviews need to be transcribed. First, locate your study folder in Dropbox. I will be using the file HDCI Women's Physical Change Stevens as an example in this video. After doing this, open the Excel file titled Study Name Participant Overview. Look under the column titled Transcriber and identify which interview have not been transcribed yet. Often this Excel file has additional tabs on the lower left corner. These are labels for sheets that list interviewees by gender and/or ethnicity and race. Be sure to check each of these sheets to identify which interviews have not been transcribed. Once you have selected an interview to transcribe, write your name in the row for that specific participant ID under the column Transcriber. You are now responsible for transcribing this interview. Next, go back to the open folder titled Study Name Audio. The recordings of all interviews, focus groups, and workshops are stored in this folder. They are typically subfolders that are categorized by gender, race, ethnicity, or session number. Find the audio file of the interview you selected to work on and get ready to transcribe. Start typing as soon as the tape starts. You won't be able to type as fast as people speak. Even professional court reporters use shorthand, so you'll have to stop the tape each time you fall behind. Some people find that it helps to slow down the audio speed. You may want to listen to a sentence first, then pause the tape and type it. Use whatever technique works best for you. Accuracy is the most important thing. The cleaner your transcript in the first pass, the less editing you'll have to do later on. If a passage is difficult to decipher, listen to it twice more. If you're still having trouble, make note of the counter number on the recorder and go back to it later. Sometimes the context of an interview will help you interpret that section later. Transcribe the interview exactly as you hear it. There will be time later to edit grammar and content. Write down the identifier of each speaker with a column following. For example, interviewer. Okay, so first question. What do you think when you hear the term cosmetic surgery? Tiny. Like breast lift and butt blank. Also, type in block paragraph format, putting a space between each speaker. You can edit these blocks into more paragraphs for the final copy. Lastly, be sure to note any sort of reactions from the participants such as laughter, tears, or looks of concern. When you finish typing your initial draft, listen to the tape again. At the same time, read along with what you've written. The print should match exactly. Make corrections as necessary and report to problem areas you noted that weren't repaired during the second play of the tape. If the dialogue is impossible to decipher and the answer is an important fact or comment, contact the speaker to verify the information. For any text that you're unable to verify, put a set of 3 bolded red X's in the final copy. This indicates that there is something that the transcription reviewer should also attempt to listen for and fill in. This should only be done as a last resort. Another option to transcribing that often helps many research assistants is slowing down the audio file so that it is easier to catch what is being said. I will now go over the steps to slow down the audio files for transcription. First, go to Dropbox on your desktop. Then, select Current Studies folder. Select the subgroup you're working on. Instead of clicking the audio file, right-click it and hover over the option Open With and click Windows Media Player. A separate pop-up window will appear for the audio file. Select the play button only if it didn't play automatically. Place the mouse on the audio pop-up screen. Right-click and hover over Enhancements. Then select Play Speed Settings. Move the audio marker to the left below 1.0 in order to slow it down. If you select the option Slow on the upper left-hand corner, it will automatically move it down to 0.5. Select Play on the audio pop-up window and the speed should be slowed down. If it's too slow, you can go back to the previous window, which should still be open if you haven't closed it, and adjust it as desired. After adjusting the audio speed, you are ready to begin transcribing. The second section of this video will be explaining the process of transcription checks, another important part of working in the HDCI lab. It simply requires that you listen to the audio interview or focus group and read along with the transcription. This is important as a second set of ears can usually solve issues such as unclear terms, inaudible comments, or catched misphrases, even background commentary. We have also found that via the transcription checks that some students only transcribe the first half and the last 2 minutes of an interview, essentially skipping the middle third. The first step is to identify which audio interviews need to be checked. First, locate the folder in your Dropbox. I will be using the file HDCI Women's Physical Change Stevens as an example in this video. After doing this, you need to go into the folder titled Study Name Data in your Studies main folder. Then open the Excel file titled Study Name Participant Overview. Look under the column Checked or Check 1 and identify which interviews do not have a transcription checker listed. Often this Excel file has additional tabs on the lower left corner. These are labels for sheets that list interviewees by gender and or ethnicity and race. Be sure to check each of these sheets to identify which interviews have not been checked. Once you have selected an interview to check, write your name in the row for that specific participant ID under the column Check. You are now responsible for checking that interview. Next, go back to the folder titled Study Name Data in your Studies main folder, then open the folder titled Study Name Transcription. The transcripts of all interviews, focus groups, and workshops are stored in this folder. They are typically subfolders that are categorized by gender, race, ethnicity, or session number. Find the transcription document of the interview you have selected to work on and get ready to check the transcription. As part of the checks process, we need to track changes and make notations about the transcriptions. We do this by using the Track Changes and New Comments options. Once you have opened your transcript to check, the first thing you do is look across the top of the Word document page, Options, and look for the Review tab. Usually it is second from the end besides View. Next, locate the Track Changes icon in the Review panel. Be sure that the Track Changes option is illuminated. Once you have selected the Track Changes feature to go on, your changes will be recorded. When you are checking transcriptions, you will sometimes come across things that need some sort of notation. Instead of sending an email or writing it down, you should enter a comment using the New Comment option in Word. This option provides a quick and professional way to simply enter the comments you feel are necessary. This can include pointing out specific errors, asking for more clarification, noting repeated errors, or missing transcription content. In your open transcription document, locate the New Comment icon in the Review panel. Be sure that the New Comment option is illuminated. Next, highlight the words or text that you want to point out and make a comment regarding. This can be as few as one word as to much as a paragraph. To avoid any confusion, however, you should only highlight those words or passages relevant to your comment. I hope that this video was helpful and that after watching you have all the necessary knowledge needed to transcribe studies correctly. Have a great day!